What's up, YouTube? I'm back again with another tutorial. Basically, as you guys can see, I have the Jordan 1 mid band here. It's supposed to replicate the OG highs. And we're gonna be doing a custom on these today to make them look like the highs, of course. So as you guys can see, on this upper part of the shoe, there's this red strip right here. I don't know what this is called, but it's on the upper. This part's supposed to be black, just like the OG pair. So we're gonna switch that out. Just gonna paint over that, right? That's an easy job. And then as you guys can see, this tongue, we're gonna get rid of this shit right here. I'm not really a big fan of the Jumpman symbol, to be honest. That's just me. Not even on some hypey stuff. It just doesn't look as good as Nike Air. So we're gonna go ahead and switch that out. And yeah, let me just show you guys what you need for this tutorial. Shout out Iggy's Kicks. You guys should check out his channel. He's the one who got me to do this. I'm not sure if it's gonna work out for me. I've never done anything like this in terms of stitching, but we're gonna try it out. So the first thing you're gonna need is like a little stitching tool. I don't know what this is called, like an owl or something like that, but I'll link it down in the description. All right, that's the first thing you're gonna need, right? And it comes with a needle and thread. Like there's some thread right here. I'm not really sure how to use this thing. So after I just, I'm gonna figure that out later. But I also ordered, there's another needle that you'll need to order because the one that comes in here, the default one is huge. So we're gonna switch that out, and then we got some thread. So yeah, I'll link all this stuff down. And then, oh, one last thing, Nike Air tag. Actually pretty expensive, I'm not gonna lie. You can find these things from like $20 to $30 on eBay or Etsy, but yeah, not exactly the cheapest, but you know, it is what it is. I'm not paying like $700 for the highs. My opinion on mids, I personally think there's nothing wrong with them. I guess you can say like the leather quality is definitely nowhere near the highs. It's pretty cheap, but you know, I plan on using these like kind of like a beater. I mean, not necessarily. I'm still gonna take care of them because it's still money, but I'm not gonna like treat them as much as or as good as I would treat my highs. You know what I mean? Just because they're cheaper, so I'll be able to do a lot more things in them, which is the reason why I bought them. And I'm not paying $700 for no high. I'm sorry, but yeah. So that's pretty much it. And I guess we get into the customization. All right, you guys, so the first step is going to be to cut this tag off. All right, so as you guys can see, there's some stitching right here. We're going to cut it right before that, and then there's stitching two parallel lines of stitching, or horizontal lines of stitching right here that we're going to cut it right below, well, right above the stitching, and we're going to go ahead and get to it. I hope I don't mess these up. It's my first time. Y'all bear with me, and I'll get back to you when I get it off of here. All right, y'all, so I got it off of here. There ain't no going back from here, so we're gonna ride this one out. Hopefully we don't mess it up because this is money. But basically, there's some, like, you know, there's a little bit left of like threading and stuff, and I guess you could just pull it off, as you can see, kind of like that. I'm sorry I can't really show you guys as much as I'd want to, but yeah, you kind of just peel it off, the rest of the thread from the tag, until it's like as clean as possible, you know, because you're gonna be stitching a whole another one back on there, so you don't need any of this leftover fabric from the old tag. So yeah, just keep on doing that, and then I'll get back to the next step. All right, y'all, so here comes the complicated part. Yeah, like I said, I've never done this before. I'm already messing up. All right, so basically, here's your all right? And originally when you first see it, it has this little helmet on there, right? Well, you unscrew it, right? And then when you unscrew it, it'll come with two of these needles, but we're not using these because they're pretty thick compared to this one. I don't know if you guys can tell, but yeah, definitely thicker, so that might damage the tongue, you know, and the stitching might be way bigger than you would want it to be. So basically, you unscrew the helmet, take out the extra needles, put all that shit to the side, and then yeah, then you want to put in the needle that your aftermarket needle, right? And basically, um, what you need to know is you need to align the needle, right, with this little circular thing and this little ridge right here. And then there's another ridge. So all this needs to be lined up. You see this straight line? All that needs to be lined up, right? But the thing is, there's two sides of the needle, right? So there's the front side and the back side. You want to align the front side to where this little knob here is. And how do you know what is the front and what is the back? Well, you can simply tell. Let me see if these other ones have an example. Okay, yeah, they do. Okay, so the front side of the needle, it's gonna have like a small ridge, like right there. Okay, as you guys can see, right? It's kind of hard to see, but and the back side has a full ridge. It goes down the whole entire back. It's like the ridge goes all the way down there. It's like a crack down the whole needle, as opposed to the front where it's only in the front. It's only like in the beginning. Okay, I don't know if I explained that well, but you could always look up the front side of a needle, back side of a needle, and it'll explain it to you somewhere on YouTube. So yeah, damn, this needle be making me frown, bro. Like, I don't like sharp objects. It should be just, I don't know, should be bugging me out, yo. But all right, next, what you want to do, basically, there's gonna be this little thing underneath the owl, and you want to unscrew that. And all right, you guys, so basically, as I said, you want to take off the bottom. Then what you want to do is get the thread. You want to lead it from the inside of the owl, and there's a hole, as you guys can see right here. So you want to put that from the inside to the outside, and then you want to guide it up to this little ridge right here, this little crack. And then inside of that crack, you want to continue to push through, because there's another hole where this silver cap is, and it's going to come out the top of this, right? And you want to continue like just directly up here. So vertically, this thread is going to continue to go straight, and it's going to continue all the way up this little ridge thing where the needle is. So you want to make sure everything's lined up correctly, and it's going to be at the top. Once you do that, you want to screw the little top back on. I'm not sure what the heck this is called, just the cap, but you know, righty tighty, lefty loosey, and then boom. Okay, there you go. Now you're ready to stitch. Okay, so you see that? It's on there. Everything's lined up correctly. You got your thread at the bottom. Boom. All right, you guys, I'm back. I went ahead and started the customization. Basically, I wanted to see if I was able to do it before I went through the steps and misleaded everybody. So yeah, I think I did a pretty good job, man. Let me go ahead and show you guys. So as you guys can see, no more Jumpman Air logo, as you guys can see. The Nike Air, you know what I mean? Compare it to let's see, get these Storm Blues up here. You see the Storm Blues look good, right? Then you go to this, looks good, looks solid, man. So far, pretty good job. And right now I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. Not as hard as I expected, but you can mess up, and you definitely can cut yourself just like me. So I'm gonna make sure you guys get everything right. So all right, basically, you see the tag, right? Here's the tag. It's facing upside down, so like this, right? It's faced like this, to where when you flip the tag, how it's supposed to go, we have the Nike Air and the rest of the stuff on the back of the tongue. So you wanted to place it like that. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, that's how you want to do it. And how do you know where to place it on the tongue? Okay, it'd be much easier if you had a pair of Jordan 1 highs, because you could see there's a stitch line right here. So that's where you would start it at, right? But on the mids, you don't have that. So you kind of have to play with it. And like, so before you place the placement needle in there, you kind of want to play with it, kind of put it in there, and then flip it to see where, you know, it gets to the point where there's none of the writing is showing. It just says Nike Air. Okay, that's basically all I did. And then once I found that spot, I pinned it in there. So on either corner, left or right, I did on the right corner. I'm gonna start stitching on the left. So once you do that, you're pretty much good. Where do you want to place it on the tag? So basically on the tag, there's this little red line, and I placed the needle right underneath it. Okay, that's where you want to put the placement needle, and then that's where you want to stitch. So you want to stitch with right underneath that that red line, and just follow all the way to the placement needle. And then once you're done, once you're close to the placement needle, pull that boy out, and then yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna show you guys the first couple steps to start doing this. And I know this video is a little long. I'm sorry. I apologize. This is my first time doing this, and I haven't recorded in a while, so I'm not that efficient with my time yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to position the camera to where you guys can see. All right, you guys. This is the best I could do with the camera. I really apologize if it's not that visible, but if it isn't really that visible, I could always provide a link to another video that shows how to use the awl. So okay guys, so as I said, you want to start, you have your placement needle over here to the right side, and then on the left that's where you want to start, right? So what you want to do is get your awl, right? And you want to start off to the front of the needle. Okay, you know where the front is, because if you would have followed where I aligned the needle, that should be the front. You know, it has like the small ridge, and the back has the long ridge, and the front ridge lines up with everything else. So all these little cracks, you know what I mean, and this little bobble thing, all that lines up to the front. Okay, so you always want to start off with the front of the needle when you go in. Okay, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and get this front side. Okay, be careful with your fingers. You don't want to poke through, and you just push. I'm really not trying to fucking stab myself, so one sec, y'all. Okay. All right, you guys. So once you puncture the tongue and the tag, all right, you're gonna want to pull the thread out of the needle, or not out of the needle. It should just come out when you push it through, right? And you're gonna want to pull the thread and make it really long. I probably have it like 3 to 4 times the length of the tongue. Okay, that's a little extra, but I'm just showing you guys that just to make sure you make it long. Okay, all right, and once you do that, right, you have it long, you want to push through the tag and the tongue again with your needle. Okay, so you want to get it. Okay, make sure you always go in through the front of the needle, and you know it's the front because it has the short ridge, and it should already be aligned with this little, with everything else, you know what I mean, this little thing and the cracks and all that. So okay, once you go back in, you don't want to do it too far from where you first went in. Okay, so as you guys can see, I'm pushing in pretty close to where I first pushed in, and okay, boom. Okay, and as you guys can see, you still have this little extra thread, right? And you can see at the back of the needle, there's some thread right here. Okay, you see that? It's like a little loop, right? You could see that more the more you pull it out. Sometimes it won't be visible, but when you pull the needle out more, don't pull it out all the way, you will be able to see this little loop. But mine, you're just able to see it right away. Okay, so what you want to do is get that one thread that you stretch really far, and you want to put it through that loop. Okay, it's a little annoying sometimes, but you put it through there. Boom. And once you put it through there, you want to pull it a little bit, and then you pull out your needle. Okay, boom, 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 just like that. Okay, and there should be this little loop in the front, right? And what you want to do to get rid of that, this is how you tighten the thread. You want to pull that thread from the back and pull the thread from the front, and as you guys can see, the loop is gone. okay? And that's basically how you do it, man. I'm not entirely sure if that was really visible because I'm recording off this iPhone and it's kind of hard to see, but I'll do it one more time just so you guys get an understanding. All right, let me do it from the front. All right, you guys. So as you can see, I'm gonna follow that line, right? Nothing too crazy. Try to make the gaps the same length, and then you want to push through. Push through with the front of the needle, boom, like that. Okay, you go to the back. Okay, there is no loop visible, right? As I said, if you pull out a little bit, boom, you can see the little loop right here. All right, and you want to grab that one long thread that you made, and then you want to push it through there. Okay, push it through. Kind of looks, all right, it's kind of hard trying to record and do this, but here we go. Let me grab it. It's actually very hard to grab this thread sometimes. Okay, push it through there. Here, I can't even get it through there, man. Sorry, you guys. Okay, push it through that little loop from the bottom of the needle. Okay, boom, and then that's when you pull out. Okay, let me show you guys from here. All right, you want to pull out, and then as you guys can see, there's a loop in the front, and then you want to grab that thread from the back and the thread right here, and then you pull it. Then boom, that's how you create the stitch, and that's how you tighten it. And from there, you just continue throughout the whole entire tongue, and you should be good. So I'm gonna get back to you guys when I finish this. You just repeat that process all the way up until you get to your marker, and then when you pull out your marker, you just do it one last time, and you just cut off the threads. Okay, you just cut off whatever is there to stop it. You know what I mean? But I'll get back to you guys. All right. We got to the point where I pulled out the safety pin, which is our marker on this right hand side. So one thing to watch out for is when you get close to there, you don't want to wrap the thread around here. It's just gonna mess everything up. So right when you like stitch to about right here, I say pull it out. All right, you guys, as you can see, it looks pretty good. Yeah, so now all that's left is to stitch this back part. All right, and I'll show you guys how to do that. Okay, so basically how I did it on my last one is I made a marker like right on this right hand side, so I marked it there, right? And why did I do it right underneath there where it says China or whatever? Right where my finger is. Why did I do it right there? That's because I kind of poked it a little bit to where I could see where the needle is poking at. And basically I did it right where this little you can still see there's some thread and fabric left from when you pulled off the original tag. So that's where all the threading will be, and it won't be visible. So you kind of have to mess around with it and kind of poke to see where to set your marker at from that side. And then you want to make sure it's like somewhere right here. You don't want it like anywhere over here. So if you go like lower to where this 712T is, it'll be somewhere around here, and basically it just look weird, you know what I mean? So like over here you can't really, oops, I'm over here knocking stuff over. You can't really tell, you know what I mean? It's all underneath here. I didn't even bother taking off the extra fabric there because I wasn't entirely sure how to, and I wasn't sure if it was gonna pull the original threading and the tongue out. So I just didn't bother messing with it, and you know, in the end it worked out because it gave me a spot to thread the backside. So basically, yeah, so just repeat the whole process of what I did here on the front, on the backside, and as I said, try to line it up to where it's somewhere right underneath here, so it doesn't look sloppy, you know. So I'll get back to you guys when I finish. All right, you guys, here's another view. I just want to make sure you guys get this right, okay? So as I said, right underneath here, slightly to the right, you know what I mean? And I'll show you where it poked out at, okay? So as I said, poked out right about here. Okay, that's the needle right there. The little safety pin. And then you just want to follow all throughout there and you won't be able to see it. So I'm gonna get back to you guys when I finish and then we'll get to the painting. All right, so guys, I made a mistake. Previously in one of the other clips, I said once you finish your last stitch and you pull the marker out to cut it, but that's actually very wrong. So I actually had this all stitched up. I took it out again because in that last stitch I didn't do it correctly. You shouldn't cut it because that last stitch is just gonna be loose and it's gonna unravel everything else. So I will show you guys how to finish off the last stitch. All right, so previously I said once you remove the marker and you finish stitching, you should just pull it out and just snip off the remaining threads, but I was completely wrong. So I'm going to show you guys how to end the stitching. So what you want to do is you want to keep on pulling this little loop. So on the bottom of the needle, you just want to keep pulling that, okay? The other thread, that the really long one, you just want to leave that alone. Move that out the way. And you just want to pull this until you can't pull anymore. Some reason this time it's really long. I don't think it really matters though. So, okay. That's about as much as I could pull, all right? Let me see. Yeah. All right. Okay. So once you do that, right? You don't want to put this thread through the loop. You know, you don't want to do none of that, okay? What you're going to do is grab a pair of scissors, all right? Sorry if this is really shaky. I'm just holding it. And just snip. You want to snip the thread that is... All right, video cut off again. But you want to do the one that's attached to the needle, okay? As you guys can see, it's this one. All right, so we're going to snip that off. Not too close to the needle, not too far. Just about here is fine. Okay, boom. Now, once you do that, right, you want to pull the needle out from the back, okay? Okay. All right, y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and just explain this because it's kind of hard to do with one hand, okay? So basically, once you cut that thread, this is what you should have left over. You know, you can have your thread and needle. And then over here, you're going to have two pieces of thread, okay? And that one thread that you cut from the needle, there might be some like left over in the back, but you could just pull it forward more, okay? And then once you do that, what you want to do is just tie it together. You could do like a little square knot or whatever, you know what I mean? And once you do that, it'll be tightened up. It'll close the threads, close the stitch, and then you should be able to cut the thread, but you don't want to cut too close, okay? If you cut too close around here, it's gonna mess it up. All right, I did it already. So you kind of have to leave a little bit of room, and there's gonna be a little bit of loose thread there, but maybe you could grab a lighter and kind of burn it so it closes, kind of like bonds together. So you could try that out. I'm probably gonna end up doing that, but on my other one, as you guys can see, I cut it to about like this length, so there's like two pieces of little loose thread there. It doesn't really bother me, so I'm just gonna leave it. And yeah, once you do that, finish the back side, everything should be good. All right, so basically what we're gonna be doing is taking off the base layer of paint, the protectant. We're gonna get that off, basically the sealant. We're gonna use the Angela's leather preparing the glazer. You can use acetone, nail polish remover, whatever. Doesn't really matter. We're gonna use that, take that base layer off. After that, we're gonna use flat white paint and just go over it. It's pretty basic. There's all types of videos online to figure out how to do that, and I'm running out of storage. Otherwise I would show you guys, but I'll get back to you guys when I finish up. I apologize. Actually, it's flat black, not flat white. I pulled out the wrong one. And just a quick tip, when you're when you're getting the acetone to take off the protectant, don't scrub too hard or anything. You don't want to take off all this paint there. You just want to get the sealant off, and that's it.
Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Bang, bang.
Sauce, baby.
Bang, bang. Hey, I'm a sick gang, crazy motherfucker. I come through, rigging like some onion. Put a hole in you, now your ass a fine. You talking shit, but your ass is